Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Dave and this is Grumpy's Workshop. Welcome to all my regular subscribers. Welcome to any new subscribers, and if you're watching and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, then please go down, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I upload future videos. I'm going to try and upload a woodworking video every week, so if that's your sort of thing, then yeah, like I've said, subscribe and tap that bell. In today's video I'm going to be building a small table. My stepdaughter's got an Xbox which is currently sitting on the floor of her bedroom, so she's asked me to make her a small table for it to go on. So that is what I'm going to be doing in today's video. So enjoy. So for this project I will be using some leftover 3x2 CLS framing timber. So I start by marking it out into rough lengths and then cutting it down to more manageable lengths on the chop saw. Once I've cut the pieces down to more manageable sizes, I then run it all through the jointer just to clean up the edges a little bit. And if you're wondering what the lump of 4x2 is, I've clamped that to the bench and that actually sits squarer than the original fence. Once the boards are cleaned up, I can then chop them down. They're still slightly oversized because I've got to cut the angles into the legs, so I've left them a little bit longer than they need to be. So what I've done is set the table saw to 7 degrees, and then I've angled the miter gauge to 7 degrees, and that's going to give me the angles to allow the legs to splay in. I will admit to making a bit of a blunder here. I actually set the miter gauge 7 degrees to the right when I should have done it to the left. So once I've cut all the legs down one end, I then rotate it 180 degrees and then flip it forward quarter turn, and that will give me the correct angles, and you'll see what I mean later on in the video. And here I am recutting all the legs with the mitre gauge set the right way round. Then I cut down some 18mm ply to 2.5 inch wide strips, which will be used as the stretchers. So to cut the stretchers at the correct angle, first of all I adjusted it to the right 7 degrees and made the cut. Then I angled it 7 degrees to the left and once again made the cut. Now it's time for my favourite thing in the whole wide world, pocket holes. Lucky for me, there's not too many to do. And you'll notice that I've even put one in the middle, and this is going to be used to attach the top. But before I could attach the legs and stretchers together, it was time to test out my homemade router table, and there's a video for that, so if you haven't seen it, be sure to check that one out. And I have to say, it works like a charm. So with the legs finished, I could then begin attaching the stretchers, and you'll see I've got an offcut of 12mm ply underneath, which will give me a nice reveal on the outside of the stall. Now it's time to start working on the top of the stall, and to do this I'm just going to be using the rest of the CLS 3x2 framing timber. Off camera I've cleaned it all up on the planer thicknesser, and now I'm just starting the glue up process. Now I'm just going to leave it overnight to dry. In the meantime, I'm going to start cutting out some letters on the bandsaw, and I'm going to be putting her name on it. I know I did that in the beer caddy video that I released not long ago, but I like to kind of play around doing these things, and she likes the personalised touch, so that's what I decided to do. And I'm using some 18mm MDF that I had left over from a previous project. And I have to say,
the time I've been using this bandsaw, I am really impressed with it. I'm still using the stock blade that came fitted to the saw, but really impressed. I love it. Here I've just wrapped a bit of sandpaper around the pencil, and I'm using that to sand down the insides of the letters. Right, and before anyone says it, I know this isn't the safest way to use the router table, but sometimes you have to bend the rules a little bit to get the jobs done, so I take full responsibility for my own health and safety in my workshop, and I still have 10 fingers on, I was going to say 10 fingers on both hands then. That'd be good, wouldn't it? I don't know about you, but I think the letters turned out quite nice. And all that's left to do is to glue up the relief cuts that I made to do the centre of the A and the B. So with the top dried, I can now trim that down on the table saw to its final dimensions. So after planing it down by hand to reduce the thickness of the top, I could then round over the edges to finish it off. With the top finished, I then positioned it where I wanted it and made a mark. Then I spread glue out on the top of the base and then basically put it in position, and I'm using some clamps while the glue dries. Now the only thing I'm annoyed about is the base on its own was perfectly flat and didn't rock, but because I didn't put any weight on the tabletop when it was drying, it twisted slightly, so I had to clamp it down to the base while I screwed it in, but that's causing the table to rock, so I'm going to have to sort that out somehow. Right, so my stepdaughter's room is white with a black accent wall. So I'm going to be painting the stand white so it fits in with the rest of her room. This is the undercoat going on. I'm going to put 2 coats of that on, rub down in between, and then 2 or 3 coats of satin top coat. So the next time you see it will probably be when it's finished.
Right guys, that's going to wrap this video up. Didn't come out too bad at all. And I think it's definitely good enough for my daughter's Xbox to sit on. I just want to do a shout out to West Cork Woodworks. I was watching a video about him making a stool, and he explains cutting the legs at certain angles way better than I can, to give you the kind of, not only do they lean in, they also lean that way as well. So I'll leave a link to his video in the description, so be sure to go over and check his channel out. He's got some interesting videos on his channel. So I mean, I'm terrible at angles, so I would never have done splayed legs on my design before watching that. So I want to build a couple of stools myself, so this was kind of a practice run for me to see how well it would turn out, and I think it's turned out alright. So a big thank you to West Cork Woodworks. Hope you don't mind me stealing your ideas. Cheers mate. So that's going to wrap it up guys. I will see you in the next video. Cheers.